I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk about murder, weak men, and boss babes.
Oh. What a what a mix.
Yeah, so tell the people out there what we were doing a couple days ago, where we went.
We went to visit Bodie, the State Historic Park, and then we went to Yosemite and enjoyed the incredible views there.
Yeah. So Bodie is the reason I was thinking about murder and weak men. That's what I was thinking about when I got a little bit. I couldn't fall asleep the other day. So when you were telling me the story about what happened to that guy who got killed, and I think I got the story all wrong because I don't think I was paying that much. I think I was looking at your ass like I usually am when you're wearing those yoga pants. I'm going to be looking at the ass more than anything.
Probably.
So tell me what happened again with that guy who got murdered because of a wife or something like that?
Well, let's see.
You forgot the whole story too.
No, it's not that I forgot
You're
about it.
being my tour guide.
Your tour guide? Well, I was too busy being a tour guide to remember anything.
So you're just reading shit without even knowing what the hell you're doing.
Reading and not retaining.
So what I thought you said was that there was a married guy who then the wife was cheating with somebody, and then the married guy killed. Yes,
that's wrong.
Okay, that's wrong. That's what I heard when I was looking at your butt.
Yeah, no. So no. Joseph DeRoche, he was romantically involved with Treloar's wife, and he's the one who shot Treloar as he was leaving a dance.
So it was the
lover.
It was the lover who killed
the husband. The husband.
For what reason? He wanted the girl.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole weak man comes in my head. Think about how pathetic you are. You want a woman so bad that you killed the husband. And I think
now...
And
then a few days later you get hung.
And then what happened?
He got hung.
He got hung. Yeah, he got caught a few days later because it was the Wild West. So then he got caught and he got hung, as he should have. He's a pussy. So instead of going out and finding his own woman, he goes out and kills. Now, obviously, we're wired for a little bit of that just because of the nature of being male and the nature of being possessive. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of weak men right now.
Caveman.
Huh?
Caveman mentality.
Well, the caveman mentality, what do you mean?
It's like you just go and you just destroy whatever's in your way. You just drag off the prize. Drag the prize away.
Yeah, and when you're an animal, that kind of makes sense because you have to kill off any competitors, just like lions kill off the competitors and to pass on their gene line. But I hope that we're a little bit better than animals, and we can just.
That.
What's that?
That we're past that.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of that stuff, right? We have a lot of these wirings in us that are not really the best things, and we have to get past that. So what I've been seeing is that there's it also reminded me of a time. Do you remember we went to jealousy in men? Like that's it's a natural thing, and yet it's also such a stupid thing. Because it's never made a lot of sense to me. So if somebody were to flirt with you and take you from me, how is that a loss on my part?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you encountered anything like that, or
where I've been jealous?
Yeah. Or where you've been jealous, or really as this is really meant for men, where jealousy has gone in the way of your relationship, or where you were really grossed out by it, or where you liked it. Maybe you went out with a fella, and said fella saw another fella looking at you, and he went up there and said, "Hey, that's my girl," and it got you all hot and bothered.
No, only with you, actually.
When have I done that? Never.
Racetrack.
What happened?
A friend at the racetrack. I said a hello, little.
That's right.
Too much on the friendly side.
Yes, and then what happened?
I had immediate regrets.
Yes. Yes, and it wasn't even like. So I actually that's one of the examples that I write about. Is the same thing happened twice to me, right? The same situation. I took a girl I was dating to the racetrack, and my buddy, who is very fun and super flirty, hugged her, and she was way too comfortable with that. It wasn't like your hug. It was more of a hug than that. And so she was so comfortable with that I was just like, all right. And I immediately wrote her off as a friends with benefits, which was good because she was way too happy about it. And it's not the type of girl that I would want to date long term. So I was just like,
but
demoted.
But that's not a sense of jealousy.
No, but that's my point. Same thing with you. So with you, when you gave that my buddy a hug, it was like, oh shit, here we go all over again. But I was surprised with you because like you were giving me such high interest level. But then you did something different, which you came back later feeling really bad that you hugged this guy, and then you were almost in tears, and that was different. It wasn't like you said, I didn't know what to do. You know, he's your buddy, so I felt like you should. But it's not like I went up to him. It's like, you don't hug my girl.
Oh, right. No.
Nothing like that. It was like if
no, he would have no clue.
No, he would have no clue. And if a guy did do that, if a guy, you know, went up to you and picked you up, it would be more of a, dude, high five. You know what I mean? It's like you did both of us a favor. I know it sounds bad, but you know what I mean?
I do.
It's just like you just freed me.
You don't fight over somebody who doesn't want to be with you.
Thank you. You don't fight over somebody that doesn't want to be in your life. You just don't. It's silly. And so when that happens, and men in like this, you know, like this guy in Bodie, that's just a story that happened in the 1800s. But that story's it's older than time.
Right.
You know, now when we were cave people, it might have made more sense because that woman might have been the only woman you had, and you got to pass on your genes, and you're protecting her, and that woman doesn't have a right to say yes or no because she's going to be taken no matter what.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's not where we live now.
No.
So now you have a choice to say yes or no. Right. So for guys who get all, you know, part of this what I want to talk about is just like guys and jealousy. It's stupid. We all feel it. We all have it. We all you know experience it. But you know you don't put yourself in danger or cause danger over a woman ever, unless she's actually in physical harm.
Right. Hopefully she didn't start it.
Right. Well, you mean the flirting or the physical harm part?
No, physical harm. Talking
Yes.
about women who get into other men's faces and expect her man to jump in and finish it.
Yeah. That is a reason where you turn around and walk away, and you let her handle it, because you're not going to go out and get killed, you know, or some woman being stupid and starting shit with a man. You know, it's stupid. But if it wasn't, if it's not something she started, and she's being fit in a physical dangerous situation, our job is to handle the situation.
Right.
So you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a situation where do you think that's kind of a bad approach to say, well, if she started it, to walk away? I mean, am I not leaving her in
peril?
Yeah.
I think that there's probably a limit. I agree. I don't think a woman should go up and get in the face and try to be physical with a man. That's just stupid. And then to expect your man to come in and, like you said, potentially die from an altercation. I don't know. Now I'm kind of thinking there's no limit.
There's what?
There's no limit.
No limit?
No. Why on earth would you get yourself in a situation like that? What could possibly be worth, putting not only yourself but your loved one in harm's way over what exactly?
Well,
I can't even imagine like what situation I would have to be in where I'd want to get in a man's face like
yeah,
that.
but let's say you did. Do I let you die?
I guess I'd hope not, but at the same time, I can understand why you would.
So to be fair, I think there's, in theory, I agree with that. That being said, I wouldn't let you die, because at some point I have to understand.
You're gonna have to be the caveman and drag me out by my hair and be like, "Sorry, dude."
Yes, actually, that's kind of where my head was at. Because I love you, because I know that you're also a woman, and sometimes, would it be fair to say that sometimes emotions, kind of take over a woman?
Yes.
That's fair?
Well, yes. I think you definitely see that. I mean, that's a whole situation where women get in men's faces is because their emotions have run away with them and they have lost sight of their own vulnerability at that time. Their anger or their passion in that moment has overridden all sense of self-preservation, I think.
I agree. And if you're a man that understands women a little bit, you're going to be able to say, okay,
She lost
control of her emotions. This is a dangerous place for her to be. I have to do whatever it takes to save her out of this one too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And at the same time, what you said is actually where my head was going at, is you gotta plead with the guy. You can't just get in his face and continue you gotta go, hey, look, she's fucking wrong. If she started, right?
Yeah.
If she started, you're wrong. You gotta plead with the guy. There's no reason why you're gonna go get yourself in prison, or get killed over a woman's lack of emotional stability.
Right.
Now, to be fair, if that doesn't work, then now you gotta go savage. You know what I mean? You just gotta pull all the stops and say, fuck it, we're gonna do this. And then you have to reconsider highly, am I staying with this?
Yeah.
With this woman, because she's a danger to me and a danger to people around me.
Right.
Now, so because if it gets to that spot, it should never get to that spot.
Yeah.
That should be one of those things that's an automatic, I'm going to write you off if you're going to get into a physical thing with a strange man that can put you through a freaking brick wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not a smart thing.
Right.
But that's not.
But then to me too, like what's to prevent her from treating her partner like that too?
Yeah.
When she loses control.
Well,
So,
it's emotional instability. So I think that's a good thing for guys that, one of my principles is that you have to vet ruthlessly. Like ruthlessly with a woman. You cannot, there's certain things that are deal breakers even if she's a wonderful person every other way.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of them. To have complete emotional instability, which is kind of too popular right now or actually not even, I think it's always been popular, but right now it's kind of like expected and you tell me, I don't know.
I would say there's definitely a huge pass given to women who verbally and sometimes physically assaults men that they're not related to. I mean, like, you don't know what happens.
It's okay to assault somebody you're related to?
No. I'm just saying that you don't know what happens behind closed doors, but we do see the videos of women who try to go toe to toe with men.
Yeah,
most times no one really intervenes or stops it. It just kind of plays out pathetically, I think, in the end.
And I would hope that those are few and far between. Right. That those situations, with social media being out there and everything, I think that maybe it's a little bit more.
You see more of it.
Yeah, you see more of it. I don't think it's as common as maybe people lead on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of what I was thinking about with whatever his name was, Mr. Bodie there. Yeah. Which was also then reminding me with the other part, which is
he's the one who lost control at that point, though.
You mean the
murderer? Yeah, the lover.
The lover.
The lover.
Yes, and that's where I was. The whole thought of weak men is men who have a lack of emotional self-control. You cannot lose emotional self-control or physical control at any time when you're a man.
Right.
I think that has to be one of the things that's like a given.
Well, then that kind of points back to our first conversation about safety too. Because if a man is emotionally volatile,
yes,
that also doesn't engender the safe feelings in women.
Yeah, and that's what I see when I see a guy who is super jealous. I see female energy. I don't see a man there. I see female energy. Somebody who doesn't have self-control, that to me is female. A man should be like our superpower, in theory, should be logic.
Yes.
And emotional self-control. That's our power. But if we're emotionally uncontrolled, I mean, that's female. And you need that polarity. So I think it's be very scary for a woman to be with a guy who can't control himself, even in the name of
love.
Or even in the name of, I'm doing this to keep her safe, right? I'm doing this for her quote unquote honor or whatever it is.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. And I think that society right now has way too many weak men. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And we can continue our conversation later because we're going to get run over. All right, so the other thing, that whole conversation with weak men got me thinking about, do you think that has anything to do with why there's so many boss women now?
I do.
That's it?
Yeah,
yes, I do.
I do.
So, like I saw this thing on, somebody had a meme or some shit that had like an old lady, and she was saying that when a woman acts like a little girl, she's with a real man. When she acts like a mom, she's with a boy. And when she is bitchy or something like that, she's with a loser.
Yes.
Or when she acts like a man, she's with a loser. When she acts like a man, she is with a loser. So that kind of goes against, like, I don't know. I would assume that most boss women would disagree with you that they're boss women because of men. I think they would, or not to say, I don't think they would say that there's a connection, that they're just boss women.
I think of in the context of relationships or the context of work, because I think of boss women in two separate scenarios.
Okay. I
think of them as your, as far as your work ethic, boss women, okay. Right? And then in relationships, I think that they are not, always the same woman. They can be two, the same woman who is a boss. What do we call them?
Boss babe.
Boss babe.
Boss bitch.
At work. If she has a strong man at home, she gets to relieve herself of that mantle and be pure in her feminine. But then I also think that there are women who are probably normal in society. I mean, being in their feminine. But when they come home, they have to put on the mantle of the boss babe or what have you, because of their needing to shoulder all responsibility at home.
So would you say those are the women who are like the main breadwinner?
Possibly, but I wouldn't say not.
So it's not exclusive.
I don't think it's exclusive. I don't even think, to be honest with you, it has anything to do with money. I think it has more to do with a sense of safety and security more than it does in income.
How can a woman feel safe and secure when her man is not providing?
Well, it's not that I think, or we're talking about a man who is being supported by a woman.
Okay.
Or we're talking about like a cougar and her cub.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm just exploring.
I'm not. For me, like when I think about that, I just think about for instance, a woman who literally has to shoulder all responsibility because her man is literally like a child.
So is that this? Okay, so that's a scenario where she has to step up and basically be the boss of the relationship.
Yes.
And so
She's like the decision maker.
She's okay. So hold on, because I agree with you. At the same time, I'm thinking about what society says. Remember, as men, it's drilled into us. Even men with each other, they talk to each other saying something that I think is I appreciate the thought behind it, but I don't think that they're using it right, which is happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if a man is letting her make the decisions, wouldn't that make her happy?
No, not necessarily. I'm just thinking of myself personally, because I can't speak to all women. So, but for myself personally, like if I had to make all decisions, especially if you're thinking, like if I think I'm making decisions all day long, and then so I never get any relief from the decision making process. But it's not just the decision making process; it's just literally like taking care of, all business, all like if you're, because I guess I am thinking about a situation that I was in with my ex-husband, where yes, he actually was the sole breadwinner. For the most part, he's the one who had the larger income, but in all other things, all the responsibility came to me, and I felt like he was not very participatory in the relationship, especially romantically. Like, so if you're talking about decisions like like going out to dinner, I think it's something that you've mentioned before, is like when you stop dating your woman. So to me, it's like we got married, rather quickly after marrying each other due to circumstances. But I felt like now I was in the role of mother, banker, taxi driver, laundress, housekeeper, which, all of those things are fine, but none of the benefit of being dated, courted, made to feel like, like a woman. I felt more like like I was in the mother role, taking care of literally everything, where I didn't feel in any part taken care of.
That makes sense to me, because girls don't want to bang their sons.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it felt like. I felt like I had adopted a grown child.
Yeah, and that's what I completely understand that, because it's not necessarily just the income, because some people might say, what the fuck do you want? He's bringing the money.
Right.
Yeah, just you take care of the household.
Right. Which, again, I have no problem with that. But I think there was no balance.
So for you to make it balanced, look, this is why my working title of the book, what is it? You say it better than I do.
Your working title of your book?
Yeah. Do you remember it?
I'm blanking right now.
And the reason I'm asking you to say it is because I like...
Quarter keeper?
See, it doesn't sound like... It doesn't know if it sounds like... But yeah, it's court her, keep her.
Yes.
Because I think if you date a woman for as long as you want to keep her.
Yes.
And the thing is as men, that sucks.
Well, because you probably think of it as work.
It's fucking work. Of course it's work. We don't want to... We want to...
Okay. So when you say that, can you imagine if you're a woman and you have to take care of literally not just all the household things, but every aspect of your... Literally almost every... That's how it felt to me. I took care of every aspect of our life outside of his going
and it just becomes work.
Yes.
So by him, if he would have courted you, if he would have kept the romance alive by, what I tell people to do is once every week, once every other week, just go on a date. Go on a fucking date.
I would have felt more like we were in a partnership at that point, but that's not how it felt. It did, like I said, it felt like I adopted a grown son. Right.
And that's not sexy, and it's not gonna...
Oh, no.
That gets tiring, right?
Yeah.
It gets a little bit boring.
Yeah.
So, no, I totally understand.
Well, boring, but also, like I said, there's no sense of partnership. It almost got to be like a lonely feeling.
And so it would be like you just, and it's probably, and I don't know, I think I'm speaking for you right now, or it's like, would it be like you're with a roommate, but it's even worse because you're now not having the romance and intimacy that maybe you could have gotten somewhere else.
And bound by a contract.
And you're bound by a fucking contract.
Yes.
You know, that sucks. And so on our side of it, it's like, yes, it's work. And the thing that you have to, and this is what I talk about, guys have to really vet ruthlessly. You have to have a woman that you actually love and that you want to continue to give to her for the rest of your life. Because if we're going to continue dating you, that means we're going to give up a really great part for us, which is we date random chicks and we get strange. And it's, you know what I mean? It's now we got to get the same one and it's like, we're putting the same amount of work, but with none of the novelty. So you have to create the novelty.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do you do that with the same person? For you?
For me?
Yeah, like so for you and I, we've been together now 5 years.
Yes.
I think it stayed pretty novel.
Yeah.
So
I think it is being intentional to do things together. It doesn't, you know, how small or grand something is doesn't matter. It's the intention that, okay, you know, we're going to spend this time together. We're going to, after I get back from whatever I'm doing in the morning, let's you and I go, have a walk and get a coffee somewhere. Yes. And it's the intentional. It's not just, you come home and you plop on the couch and just get waited on or what have you.
Yes, I like that though. I like being waited on.
Well, I like waiting on you too.
Oh, that's nice. But the reality is that I think too many men and women, they both of them are now in their masculine, right? They go to work, and then they both come back, and somehow the guy expects the woman to wait on him, and all he does for her is he sits in front of a video game machine and plays PlayStation. That's gross.
Well, because there's no, again, where's the conversation, where's the make you feel that you're valued and that you're a partner. If there's, if all he does is just come home. I mean, there's nothing wrong with coming home and decompressing, but I think there just has to be some time and space for a reconnection somewhere in that day.
Yeah, you have to talk about the day. At least, oftentimes as guys, we don't really want to talk about our day. I mean, that happens with us, right? When you're like, what happened at work? And we're, why are you asking? It just annoys me. You know what I mean? But
I'll always continue to ask.
Yes, because you care. And it's tough sometimes for us to like when you have a problem. That's one of the hardest things for me is when you start telling me a problem, and I just want to shut you up until you do this. And I wrote a whole book about it. I still screw up. I still want to just fix shit. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you to read your own book.
You have told me to read my own book. But it's just that we're so wired for doing this.
Yes.
Of like, why do we need to talk about this?
Yeah. But it's fine because because we talk about it, I understand that.
Yes.
And I understand your desire to want to fix it, even though that's not what I need from you. No. But I would still rather have somebody who actually cares enough to want to fix it rather than the in one ear out the other. Yes
I think that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. And I think your point about boss babes, right, where they're all day they're at work and they have their armor on to deal with the world, especially I would say, do you think it happens more with successful women or do you think it happens with everyone?
I think every woman at some point, but definitely the greater the responsibility at work, I think it's harder. It's not harder to take off. I think it's just. Maybe. I guess what I'm thinking of like specific women that we know, and to me it seems like the higher up their pay scale goes, the harder it is for them to take that mantle off. I guess that's where I'm kind of hung up a little bit, just because of some personal experiences.
Okay.
of people that we know, and it just seems like, yeah.
What if that's just them, though? What if they?
It very well could be, but I think, but your question to me originally, I think, was, is it because of how men are now?
Yeah,
and I think that, and the reason why I said yes is because even though you have, this quintessential, did I say that right?
This quintessential what?
Yeah, successful woman, in business. She doesn't necessarily want to come home and be the boss at home either. But then it takes like a certain caliber of man, or a strong man, not a weak man, to to come home to a woman and have her feel comfortable enough where she can soften and she doesn't have to hold the reins anymore.
Yeah, and I think that presents a big problem for a lot of women in those positions. I would say I've talked to a lot of women who say, well, men are just intimidated by me. And I think some guys are. I think that is definitely true. I think that some guys, like if a woman makes, X
amount of dollars more than him. Yeah.
She makes $200,000 more than the guy.
Yeah.
The guy, for whatever reason, is intimidated by that.
Right.
But I also think that there's something at play, which is a woman. I would assume that a woman in her masculine is here, right? She's going to be. She's kind of in a really tough spot, because as I think about it, she's probably not going to be excited about guys who are less masculine than her.
Yes.
Would that be fair?
I would think that would be fair.
And those guys are the ones that she maybe should be looking, because the guys that are more masculine than her don't want to date another guy.
No. But that's where I have a friend who is in her masculine at work, but she is very quick when she likes a guy to drop straight into her feminine and be very girly, very cuddly, very, babyish with him. But it does take, a certain man for her to get there with.
And I would say it takes a guy who knows a little bit about what he's doing to make sure he maintains that.
Yes.
Because I think a woman in her masculine, if she starts seeing chinks in the armor, she's going to go, oh shit, I got to put my armor back on.
Yes.
I got to put my own, because this guy doesn't have any of his own.
Yes, because that same girl said that, I don't think that he could, that I think I'm going to be the one to protect him in a fight. Oh. So, so she said that, someone that she dated, she was very, she was fond of him, she liked him, but she's not dating him anymore either.
Well, that's not surprising after she said that.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice guy, but
the thing that I hear a lot too is like, is that, well, maybe a masculine woman needs a feminine guy, and I actually think if both people are okay with that, I think that works.
Yes.
I just think it's hard to find.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of feminine guys and a lot of masculine women.
Yes.
But the two coming together and being happy about it seems to be very, very rare.
Yeah, I agree.
So
if she maintains that at home in their personal life.
So do you think it's her responsibility to maintain the feminine, or for him to maintain the masculine so she can maintain the feminine?
I'm sorry, one more time?
I know I confused myself on that one. So do you think it's her responsibility to maintain her feminine at home? Or do you think it's his responsibility to maintain his masculine so she can be in her feminine?
His responsibility.
I agree. Almost everything that I think goes back on the guy. So to go back to that thought of happy wife, happy life, the way that is understood right now in society, my interpretation of it is you take care of her, you do what she wants, you dote on her, you pedestalize her, and she's happy, and therefore everyone's going to be happy.
Right.
I disagree with that. I think that there is truth in happy wife, happy life, but I think it has to be different. I think happiness, comes from the man. So if you have a well-adjusted man who is being in his masculine, who's dating and courting her, and who has boundaries that she must know that there's certain things that you're not going to get away with.
Right.
He's happy, she's happy, and then therefore everyone's happy.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Do you think does that hold water?
It does. Because when I think about my parents' relationship, when I think about our relationship, I would say that's my experience, especially with my parents. I consider them to have a very high successful marriage partnership, and my dad, they're like the very classic, father's the provider. My mom, she takes care of all things home and life, but he's very participatory in their their relationship, and their ability to communicate and spend time together and do things, and so there's balance.
There is balance, and to be fair, I think I have an unfair advantage in my relationship with you, and that you had that as a model. That you're able to go, okay. And you've been through it where you've had to pick up the masculine, and you decided I'm not that. I'm not a guy.
I don't like it. Yeah.
I don't think most women do, as much as they say that they do.
I mean, because it was the reason why we dissolved the relationship.
It almost always is. There's two main reasons that I've noticed that people don't work out. The guy stops courting her, so he doesn't keep her. Or he doesn't practice good communication.
Right.
Like there's a lack of communication. She doesn't feel heard, safe, understood, or free. Those four things have to be safe, understood, free, and heard. Yeah. And I think if you do that, then you have something that's going to last a very long time.
Right.
And the thing that gets me is that all this shit is completely like you could learn it. It's all out there.
Yes.
So if you were to give one or two bits of advice to guys who are listening to this on how to have a great relationship,
as far as staying in their masculine.
Whatever. I mean, what do you think would be a good takeaway from, this whole weak men, boss babes conversation?
Well, the weak men, that is easy. It's like stop fighting for somebody who's not fighting for you back.
Oh, that's a great point.
So I mean, that's just, you should always want somebody who wants you also, just as much. If not more. And as far as men being masculine, I think it's the the title of your working quarter keeper. It's important for men to still be intentional even after you're in an established relationship.
The dating, the attention, the little things,
the care, just a feeling of care.
It never fucking ends, guys. It's fucking never ending. It's just But my advice would be vet ruthlessly till you find somebody that you want to give to. Because I love giving to this girl. It's just so fun to give to you. I haven't felt like that in other relationships, where it felt in the past it would feel like a chore fucking doing something, because it's just like, ugh, But with you, I want to give to you. And so vetting somebody who aligns with your character, with your principles, is huge.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, it's massive. The fact
you have
that
to be aligned.
You have to be aligned. And, and when I was younger, I used to believe
opposites attract.
It's all bullshit. You have to have similar beliefs. You have to have similar character and principles, and you have to vet ruthlessly for those, even if it means when you break your own heart because you let someone go that you're really, really into. But I remember when we went to Denmark, and your dad was not feeling good, and your mom was going to go and she was going to go through this a big deal of a meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember seeing your dad standing by the car, just like fuck. But he's just like, I'm going to be there for her.
Yeah, he powered through.
He just powered through, and that's what we do for each other. I think your relationships, yes, the meeting part is fun. Strange is awesome. It's just true. But what really matters is you find somebody who you just want to give to.
Yeah.
And if you give over and over and over, you get way more back. That's my advice.
Well, because you get back too.
Yes.
Because that person also pours back into the relationship also.
And so instead of having empty cups, you're just having 2 overflowing cups. And then when you have 2 overflowing cups, everyone gets drunk.
My gosh.
It's a good time. But you have abundance. You can give. When you're lacking, you don't have much to give.
That's true.
So anyway, I think that's a good conversation there about that. And so if this was at all interesting or fun, subscribe and follow us.